It's been a couple of days. So previously I've shown you my back garden. Well, it's about time I showed you the front of my house. I've got quite a long garden out the front, and I've been working so hard on the back that I've forgotten the front. So a lot of the reason why I haven't shown you what's going on out here is because it's really, really weedy. So today I'm going to show you how I'm going to start addressing some of these horrendous weeds. When I first got this house, this entire garden was just a mess of mud and grass and sludge. So I dug it all out and made it into a perennial border. This border is about 6 foot deep and probably about 12 foot, 16 foot long. I planted it up with all sorts of things. You can probably start to see I've got some cosmos, some daisies, I've got some Crocosmia lucifer, some of my firetail, and quite a lot of lavender, which I use to edge the border, although it's got a bit long and unruly. There's some cute little heucheras in there. And the peonies that have gone over that needed deadheading about a month ago. So again, because I've been spending so much time focusing on the back, today I'm going to focus on the front. So these Rebecchias are going to look beautiful when they come out in the next couple of days, except for if you zoom out, there are an awful lot of weeds around and about. Okay, so when I do my weeding, I have one of these from Wolfgarten. It's got interchangeable handles. I've got my long handle on this time, but you can take these out and exchange the heads. So this head that I've got here, it's just like a tiny little hoe. And I've also got one that looks like a little claw, a little rake. That's also good for getting in between plants that you can't quite get in between. So I find these my absolute go-to tools when I'm trying to tackle a big load of weeds like this. And then thirdly, you need a big trusty truck. So in terms of the weeds I tend to get here, you'll find that I get this kind of weed, which is bindweed. It grows up and around the plants and just tries to strangle them. It has these really, really pretty pink flowers, but it is a nightmare when it gets into, especially into young plants, and the plant just can't survive. So you have to literally untangle it from all around the stem of your plant, which can take a while. The other type of weed that I get is this one. Now, I'm sure somebody will tell me what this is called. But this, it has really, really long roots, and it's all connected. There's loads of it, you can see it grows everywhere. It's all interconnected, and it has long roots and deep tap roots as well. So you have to try and get all of the roots out when you're taking this out. I do get ground elder here, although there's not so much of that in this part of the border, but as you can see, this weed here has really set holes, so it's going to take me several seasons to try and get rid of that. And then you've just got your bog standard couch grass. So this is another thing that just has to come out, and you just have to keep digging it out. So yeah, that's kind of my weeds. I often get asked, how do you know what is a weed or what isn't a weed? To be honest, you don't. I have absolutely no idea half the time when I'm going through and weeding, especially when plants are really, really young. You just don't know whether they're a plant or a weed. You just have to keep pulling things out. It's really is trial and error. There's no hard and fast rules. Things like the bindweed or the ground elder, your own weeds, your own perennial weeds, you get to know and you can recognize them as you establish your garden. But when seeds first set themselves and they're only about this big, it's very, very difficult to know exactly what it is. If you're in any doubt, just leave it, let it grow, see what it looks like. But if you're fairly certain you didn't plant something there and you don't want it there, then don't be afraid to just pull it out. another thing that always happens when I'm weeding. Who else manages to pull up so many bulbs? But don't panic, bulbs are hardy, they'll grow back. Just make a hole and pop it in. With these beds being so big, being 6 foot wide, it would take me hours to get this whole thing weeded. There is so much that needs doing, so much more than I've done today in this short hour that I've been out here. But that's the thing with weeding. Weeding, it takes time. You know, don't expect to get it all finished in a day. Don't put pressure on yourself. It's not one of those magic click and it's all happened tasks. Weed little and often if you can. If you're like me, you've got a massive plot and there's only one of you, you can't get it all done. So don't feel bad if you walk past something and it's absolutely ravaged. There's always another day. But take the time, go out, spend a little bit of time weeding and just really focus in on one particular area. And once you've finished, I promise you, you'll feel so much better for it. Thank you all very much for watching my video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. And I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon.